Champions League's picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's KUTT.com. Use the promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, NHL, college basketball and more. Sign up today using the promo code SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're brought to you by Champs. Run your own March Madness pool and enter Champs' free bracket contest for a chance to win $1,000. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/champs to enter today. And we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, March the 11th, and we are here to pick over the embers of a bit of a shower of shit in the Premier League this weekend from me and Baz. But we will redeem ourselves with 4 incredibly high-priced Champions League winning picks in the next 40 minutes or so. Joining me in disgrace is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, what's going on?
I think it's only fair, Malcolm, isn't it? We do big up our winners when we have a good week, and we've had quite a lot of good weeks lately. And we're all over the socials, putting clips out and all of this lot. People will have noticed there was an absence of highlight reels from the weekend's Premier League action for us because there wasn't much in the way of highlights. I hit two winning picks out of 7. And I've just said to you, Malcolm, I was a whisker away from blanking, like absolutely nothing. Over 2.5 goals in the Fulham West Wolves game cashed in the last minute of injury time, and over 1.5 first half goals in the Arsenal game cashed in like the 49th minute. Literally injury time goals were the only 2 things that saved me from having a complete blank. So it was shite. Apologies to anybody who followed any of the shite. The scorers were rubbish. The underdogs, the yakkers, everything shite. So yeah, it was bad, but we were due one. And as you say, hopefully we can bounce back here with some good stuff. I've got some good news, Malcolm. Some good news.
You've got some good news.
You won't give a shit. But some of the people will care. The people who found us via TikTok many months ago.
Oh, you're back?
My TikTok account got banned. And it's been a war of attrition trying to get the new TikTok. You've got to have 800 followers before you can go live again, which is what the people want. I've now got my 800th follower today. I've hit 800, so I will be live again. Yes, back on TikTok. So if you are one of those who did like the TikTok lives, because it was good crack, some good stuff after the games and a bit of sort of pre-match stuff now and then, I will be getting back involved in the live action. So make sure you're following. Make sure you got your notifications on. I might go live tonight after Newcastle. You never know. So yes, we're back on TikTok, back in the game.
Aren't you just going to get banned again if they don't let you do gambling?
Depends. They didn't like the videos, so if I just don't post loads of videos, I'll just go live. We'll see. To be honest, Malcolm, I got banned because someone must have been grassing me up, because there's tons of people putting out similar stuff off of our network or on TikTok all the time and haven't had a single warning. So it was a little bit of a strange one because they let loads of people get away with it. So hopefully we'll be all right. But yes, we're back on TikTok for those who are interested.
There are lots of people in the chat. Anyone who's in the chat, well done for finding us, because I've pissed around with the broadcast time for 36 hours now. We were supposed to record last night. We then were supposed to record at 10 o'clock tonight, and now we're recording at 6 o'clock. Do you want to know why I've mucked around with the time so much, Barry?
I was going to say, you need to explain yourself, yeah?
Hangover. That's all. You know, I used to get like this quite a lot, didn't I, where I was out of action. If I went near him, lager, I was out of action for 3 days. And recently, for a couple of years, I've been all right. So Saturday, we went to Hannah in town for Stevie Brown's birthday. And I just got lit up on loads of white wine, went back to his, rolled in here about 2:30 in the morning. I think I was drinking like pink Prosecco out the bottle. Like, it was the last thing I remember. And it's just absolutely flawless. I feel like I've been run over, Barry, several times. Like me, I've got that achy back thing. Yesterday, I got up at 4:30 in the afternoon, went to my mother's because it was Mother's Day. So that didn't go down well here. Went to my mother's I watched the second half of Man City v Liverpool at my mother's house and then was back in bed by 6 p.m. So I was out of bed for 90 minutes yesterday. I've been back to bed this afternoon. So yeah, I've not been a well man. I look quite this on the little screen here. This is better than I look in real life, Barry, because I look like a wedding cake that's been left too close to a radiator in real life. So yeah, I've not been a well man. So if you did find us, well done. And it's completely and utterly on me. That one.
All I got from you yesterday was, can we do the show tomorrow? To which I assumed there must have been some sort of life or death situation at home that you couldn't get out of. So I thought it was something serious. I thought I better not delve into it. Maybe someone's ill or, one of the childs has had an accident or something. And I thought,
I was ill.
We'll move it. Turns out you're just a fanny.
Yeah. But again, I'm sitting here, while we're owning things, while we're owning our terrible picks, I also own the fact that I'm a massive fanny. And I can't do the show if I've got a couple of litres of white wine inside me, it turns out. Hannah was good though, Baz. The old flipping the egg in the hat. Have you done all that malarkey?
Yeah, I've done that, yeah.
Egg in the hat, yeah. I didn't get a good egg in the hat, but other people did. Bob got it in. Good skills. So, James, I'll do the roll call of people who has found us. James Mafia. Lloydo, get your chat and tips in the chat, Lloydo. Luke Mellor up the Oldham. Captain Insano. Cree is here as well. Callum's joined us. Good find. Lee Smith. Burnley nearly won a game. Moonaf's here as well. Company anthem. Captain Insano, what's my drink of choice on Saturday night was white wine with the meal. Then I'm not 100% sure after that, but I do remember having a bottle of pink Prosecco and some kind of gin or something. So yeah, one of everything was the answer, Captain. And who else? I think that's everyone. Moonaf wants me to tout the AL East preview tomorrow. We've got no baseball fans here, Moonaf. Well, Captain Insano, actually. So yeah, AL East tomorrow with Moonaf and AL West maybe on Thursday with me and Scotty too, Hottie. So yeah, there you go. In terms of picks, Baz, I'd like you say yours was a shambles. You got away with 2 out of 9. I get 3 out of 9, but I was all right. I was 3 out of 4 on Saturday. I was going okay. Read the Man United game beautifully, absolutely beautifully. They'd be absolutely dog shit and win, and that's precisely what happened. I'm quite impressed that they've accumulated so many points by being so permanently terrible. It's quite miraculous, like. And then Wolves and Forest clashed, was fine. I read Sheffield United game really well. I was on the Sheffield United handicap. At one point, I was 3.5 goals in front. On a weekend when Sheffield United and Burnley both managed to get 2 up and not win. And then what happened? What the Brentford goal? You saved me, Barry. It just takes one little thing to pull at the thread, and the whole thing just unravels. Because Arsenal to win both halves, I was laughing, and then all of a sudden it goes tits up. Burnley West Ham 3-3, finished 2-2, so I was nearly right. I'm counting that. Brighton game, I took Forest and goals. It was Brighton and no goals, and then we took City to win. So I think that's where we need to start with the eye catchers, Baz, because there wasn't many. So I think you have to go to the 2 games, the 2 good games, which are Liverpool City and Villa Spurs, Baz. So Liverpool City, what was your reading of it?
Really good game. Game of 2 halves. I enjoyed it as a neutral, I would say. I think Liverpool will come out of it feeling unlucky not to have won it, really, because second half they had the better chances. Diaz wasted far too many good, clear-cut chances in that second half. I mean, you said you only watched the second half. Man City, I thought, were worth the lead at half-time. Really good game. Enjoyed it. And I was happy coming away from it with a 1-1 draw and spoils shared and all of this, and then just get pissed off with all the Twitter. It's every game, Malcolm, like from everybody, every set of fans. It's like there's massive injustice every week. This weekend, Villa fans don't think McGinn should have been sent off. Forest fans think it's a conspiracy because they didn't get a red card against them. Liverpool fans, it's the penalty that they could have had at the end. And it's just Twitter. I should just come off Twitter because it's just an absolute meltdown from every set of fans every week.
Right? In our chats here, there's only a handful of people in the chat, and there's a definite split already. You've got, if that's a penalty football, if that's not a penalty football, there's a load of bollocks. And you've got other people saying
I do, and I didn't want to talk about it because people think I'm fucking very anti-Liverpool, and that's a terrible slander.
Do you not think it was a penalty?
My character. I think it was 50-50. Honestly, Malcolm, we can't keep judging these decisions after the game by still pictures. Like, you put a still picture on him, but it looks like he's gone studs first into his rib cage and nearly fucking killed him. If you watch the video, his foot's coming back down and he grazes his nipple, and McAllister goes down clutching his chest like he's being shot. If it was against us, don't get me wrong, I'd want a penalty for it. And if it was a penalty, fine. Like, you couldn't have had any arguments, but it wasn't. I don't know. For me, it was a tight one because he does get a nick on the ball, and I know that doesn't necessarily change it. But how else does he go for that ball? Because it's not head height.
Why did it take so long to clear it? He had about 4 seconds to clear it. It came over his shoulder, bounced, and he just watched it until McAllister was an inch in front of him.
As you say, the opinions are split. I think whichever way it had been given by the referee, I don't think was going to get overturned. As I say, if it was again, don't get me wrong, if that was Newcastle and that happened in our box, I would want a penalty for it. And I understand why Liverpool fans want a penalty for it.
Yeah, but you're right. I probably thought it was a penalty. But the chat just illustrates Callum's now offering to kick Mafia in the chest to see.
He did, but he didn't kick him in the chest. Watch the video. He doesn't kick him in the chest. His foot comes down and grazes his chest. Like, I bet you if McAllister lifted his heel, there's no stud marks on his chest. Honestly, he grazed his nipple. Just get on with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Could have been a penalty. It could have been a penalty.
You're right. Just get on with it. One way I'd instantly forgotten about it. The way football used to be, things just used to go away. I mean, it was a weird game. Like I say, I was in bed for the first half. I did have it on the radio. And then I watched the second half, and Man City were terrible. I mean, Liverpool, fair play.
The second half,
it's the way they played. Because really, they still didn't have a lot of their star players, but the vibrancy they played with.
Diaz was outstanding, wasn't he? Apart from his finishing on probably the two best chances of the game. But he gave them a torrid time. Diaz I was really, really impressed with his energy and effort. And as I say, I thought
two chances. Nunes had one from a great Robertson cross. But then again, bear in mind how bad Man City were in the second half. Douglas hit the beans late on, and then Foden had the little back heel that he played off his own leg. So it was a good game. It was probably good for the league. That Arsenal couldn't keep hammering teams. Sorry?
I don't know what Ederson was thinking, because the ball's gone past him. He doesn't even need to make that challenge, does he?
It's his fault. Oh, it was Ake's fault.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I still don't think Ederson needed to make the challenge. It was stupid. It was, absolute madness. Obviously, he got what he deserved out of it because he ended up injured as well from it. But yeah, it was stupid from Ake at such a crucial point in the game, isn't it? Because first half had been all Man City's really. And that just, the game changed entirely on that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other big game, it was Villa Spurs, and don't know what to make of this at all. I was confident, Baz, really confident about Villa. And again, I haven't watched it, but I had it on the radio, and Spurs adjusted their tactics, didn't really go gung-ho in the first half, and then just picked off Aston Villa. They're really good going forward, Tottenham. They score goals in bunches. They're really good on the counter. Villa lost their shit a little bit. But Villa, since Christmas, Baz, they've had home games and lost against Newcastle, Man United and Tottenham. And they're the three teams closest comparisons. They're not the top three. I would say that little league of four is by itself. You might, I don't know, you probably wouldn't throw Brighton or West Ham in there. So it would be Villa, Newcastle, Man U and Tottenham. And they've lost at home to three of those teams, Baz. So I'm not sure what to make of what to make of Villa or Spurs. So Tottenham are going to have a huge say, Barry, in this league title. They play in April, back to back to back. Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City. They have the top three, and I don't think they'll lose all three. So it's who can Tottenham take points off? Tottenham very well might be the kingmakers in April.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking at the fixture lines. Obviously, we've got Man City, Arsenal coming up, which is a massive one. I mean, it was perfect weekend for Arsenal, wasn't it? For them to get that late winner. Because, funny enough, I was thinking during that Arsenal game, at the point where it looked like they might drop points, everyone's sort of looking at the Liverpool-Man City game and the Man City-Arsenal game and potentially thinking this is where the title's decided. But I think all three of those teams will drop more points outside of those games. I don't see Liverpool winning every game to finish the season. I don't see, well, obviously Arsenal and Man City both can't because they're playing each other. That there will be slip-ups somewhere. But it does, as you say, sort of those Tottenham games are massive. And it's teed up lovely if you just want to see a good battle. I think this is the best, potentially setting up for the best title race we've had possibly ever, to have three of them within 1 point of each other, sort of 10 games to go. It did have me thinking yesterday, Malcolm, two of our teams who we are get stuck into a lot, mostly because of their manager, Arsenal and Liverpool. Who would your preference be if City weren't going to win the league? Who are you taking?
Arsenal.
Okay.
Instant reaction. I've never ever want Liverpool to win anything ever.
Yeah, I'm the same. I would rather say Arsenal win it.
Just establishing that. You can clip that and put that. We'll put that in the show bio, just in case any Liverpool fans want to give this a listen.
But listen, people will give us some stick for this on Twitter, but this is part of football, isn't it? It's like this is what football is. This is what fans are like. You have rivalries with certain teams. You have teams you like less than others. You have teams you absolutely hate, and that's football. This is how it is.
That's what's meant to happen. Yeah, if Liverpool fans said they want Newcastle to lose every week, it's fine because that's what they're meant to say. I understand.
There's another one. Matthew's just put in the chat. Havertz should have been sent off as well. That was another travesty on Twitter. Everyone going mad because Havertz should have had a second yellow. Probably should have done.
Yeah.
It's just the microscope of every incident now. You can't get past the game without everything being absolutely scrutinised to the point of and the conspiracy word being bandied about over and over again. It's Forest fans mainly this week. Forest fans were furious we're not getting the Brighton red card. But then obviously then clipping it up with the Liverpool goal last week, and then there was the red card earlier in the season, which was not a red card, and the 1-knee penalty they didn't get against Newcastle, and now the conspiracy is all against Forest. Is this week's, but it'll be someone else.
Conspiracy, Baz. I think so they appointed a referee's advisor, which basically just is demonstrating how they've got no faith or trust. So all the referees have thought, bollocks to you, we're not going to give you nothing ever again until you sack him. So the old Mark Battenberg thing might well have backfired, but
could have done.
We'll have a quick line on Chelsea Newcastle, which kicks off in an hour and 8 minutes because Lloydo is trying to needle us by saying Chelsea will win by 2 clear goals tonight. My pick was just a cop-out, standard Newcastle cop-out. I went for the total shots, over 27 shots. We'll get some team news in 8 minutes' time. But did you have a pick or any strong feelings on this tonight, Baz?
I took Newcastle to score 2 goals. I'm not confident enough to take Newcastle to win against anyone at the moment, particularly on the road. But we have got enough goals in us, so I'll take Newcastle to score 2 or more goals in that one.
Got one Twitter algorithm update, Barry. Quite concerning this one this week. People pushing other people off train platforms. Twitter wants me to look at that a lot this week. I don't know why. Twitter's really keen that I watch people push other people off train platforms. And I haven't watched any of them. I've just scrolled past. But it's really, really trying hard to catch me out. Maybe if I watch one, it might let me off and go on to something else. But I'm not having it, Baz. I just keep whizzing past. Yeah. Right, okay. We'll pick some Champions League games. I can't remember if we did good or not last week, Baz, in the Champions League, but not to worry. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform, US-based, available in 40 states. P2P social betting is a new and better way to bet. You can bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes. Tons of fun social features. It's a real betting social network. Create your own bets on there. Low vig and fully customizable odds. And lots of rewards as well. Cashback every time you bet against a friend or other users. Download Cut today in the App Store or over at cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And Underdog Fantasy, all year long been a great sponsor here. And it is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. I've got loads of fantasy drafts going at the moment for MLB kicking off soon. It's the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. The pick'em games, you just pick your players. You can go higher or lower on totals, any stats that you like. You can win up to 100 times your money. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build your entry. So sign up today with our particular promo code is PLGP and get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Visit underdogfantasy.com, find them in the App Store, and don't forget to register with our promo code PLGP to get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Must be 18 or over, present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Okay, next up is Champions League, Barry. The round of 16, 4 more games. 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday. All are 8 o'clock kickoffs, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time. And we're back with Arsenal. Arsenal kick us off this week. Arsenal taking on FC Porto. Arsenal are 1-5, minus 500 favourites. The draw is 11-2, and Porto are at 12-1. To qualify from the tie, Arsenal are 3-10, minus 333, and Porto are 9-4 plus 225. Tricky, I think, this the handicap for a couple of reasons. The price, obviously, means if you fancy Arsenal, you've got to be a little bit inventing with it. Callum's given us Arsenal to win to 0 as his early thought. Porto won this first leg 1-0, which was a bit of a surprise. And they did a bit of a job on Arsenal. Quite an ugly win, but I don't think Arteta covered himself in glory here first time around. Arsenal did struggle to get past Brentford at the weekend, but it was impossible that they were going to keep battering teams 6-0 every week like they have been. So Arsenal will take that win. Any win's a good win at this stage. And we've often talked about the difference in quality in the two leagues, especially if we've got a premium England, Italy, Spain against Holland, Portugal, something like that. But Porto have been in really good form domestically. Since the first leg, they have won 2 games. They beat Benfica 5-0, which is a standout result. And they won 3-0 away. Was it Porto, Morense, something like that the weekend? So with all the short prices kicking around here, Porto, Barry, are a very, very physical team. They're a very cynical team. They're going to mangle this from the start tomorrow. They're already 1-0 up, so they've got a head start in terms of mangling the game. They've done this for years as well. It's something that Porto have known for, really. The manager, Conceição, sets them up. Goes back to the Jose Mourinho days almost. So they're going to set them up to frustrate Arsenal, and this could get niggly. We've seen Arsenal can have a little edge on them. So it's cards, Baz, for me. It has to be cards, because even if Arsenal get 1-0 up, that won't put Porto off mangling the game to try and get it to finish 1-1. The cards line is at 4.5. And I just think this could get out of hand pretty quick. As long as Arsenal don't go 3-0 up inside 20 minutes, if Porto can stay in it, this is going to get a little bit fractious. Over 4.5 cards, Baz, is 5-6, minus 120.
Yeah, so Arsenal, obviously looking to overturn a 1-goal deficit to get through. And my first thought is I don't think it's going to be an easy task. And I might have said differently if they had have gone out and battered Brentford at the weekend and continued their recent scoring form, but they didn't. Needed a late winner in that one. As you say, you take that. It wasn't feasible that they were going to keep battering everybody. But Porto are a decent side. They're in decent form. And the win in the first leg wasn't a fluke. Arsenal didn't register a single shot on target in that game. Porto were good value for the win. The XG in that game, I think, was 1.3 to 0.5 in Porto's favour. They've lost just one of the last 15 games. Now, as you say, you might question the level of opposition, but is it any worse in Portugal than Arsenal battering the likes of Burnley and Sheffield United? Don't get me wrong, there's some good wins for Arsenal as well. The Brentford one, the Liverpool one, Newcastle one, where they've won comfortably in two of those. So not putting a downer on Arsenal, they are in great form. Do I think they can win the Champions League this season? I'm not so sure. Do I think they can win the Premier League? Absolutely. I think they've got a great chance. And I think it's possibly the best chance they're going to have for a long time to win the Premier League. And it might not be the end of the world for them here if they were to go out of this competition. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that they don't want to go through here or they won't put every effort in to qualify, and they absolutely will. But I'm just saying if they didn't turn things around, you could guarantee Arsenal fans would be saying next week, this is fine. We can focus on the league, focus on Man City next. Wouldn't be the end of the world for Arsenal if they didn't turn this around. Wouldn't be a big catastrophe or anything like that. I think they probably will qualify, but it won't be easy. And if you want to look for some comparisons, if you don't want to look at the Portuguese form and so on, then Porto against Barcelona, home and away in the group stage, they lost both games, but lost by a single goal each time. As I said, they were worth the win last week. They gave Arsenal a really tough game. And I think they can do so again. I think Porto on the handicap is a good price. Porto plus 1.5. So Arsenal can still win by 1, take it to extra time, qualify on extra time or penalties. No problem. We'll still cash that Porto plus 1.5. Or if Porto do another job on them, we can cash it still. Plus money. Porto plus 1.5 handicap against Arsenal is 11 to 10. That'll be my pick here.
Yeah, I like that, Baz. I do think this is going to be tight, really quite an intense and tight game. So we've kind of handicapped the game similarly and come out on two different markets. Mafia's going for a red card. The red card's absolutely live. I love that bet tomorrow, James, because I do think there's going to be a ton of yellows. Lee's boss has stopped him listening to the show, Barry, because thinks he was going to cause an accident on his forklift truck. It won't surprise you to hear, Barry, in my forklift truck driving days, I was an absolute accident waiting to happen. That'll surprise nobody. If anyone's seen me do anything, you'll know it all happens very, very randomly. And I've smashed some stuff up the Fossway on my forklift truck. It was like Mr. Bean goes to work some days. Right, okay. Tuesday, the second game on Tuesday. This is close as well, Barry. Barcelona taking on Napoli. Barcelona 6-7, minus 116. The draw 14-5, plus 280. Napoli are 3-1, Baz.
Yeah, this one's really delicately poised. 1-1. Nice game, this one. Barca in good form coming into it with an 8-game unbeaten streak. Now, Napoli's form has improved. We said before the last leg, Napoli had been poor this season. But they are 6 games unbeaten now. Both teams to score has hit in all 6. And they've had 4 1-1s in there. So lots of potential for the 1-1 draw of the week. Will be interesting to see if you've brought that out here. Not for me. Away from home is what concerns me with Napoli. They've won just 1 of the last 8 away from home and lost 6 of the last 8. That's a standout form for me. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games where they've gone to Spain, including a 4-2 defeat to Real Madrid this season in the group stage. They just don't travel well at the moment. And Barcelona, to me, looks a good price. I think Barcelona will finish the job here. And at 17-20, Barcelona at home to this Napoli side, who are struggling away from home, looks a really, really good pick to me. I really like Barcelona to beat Napoli at 17-20.
See, I'm not sure, Baz, here. Barcelona did dominate the first leg with a better team and probably should have come away with a win. It finished 1-0. I didn't give the prices to qualify out at the start, actually. 11-25 Barcelona, minus 227. Napoli at 13-8, plus 162. And Barcelona do draw too many games away from home. That's kind of been their Achilles heel. They've had 3 clean sheets in a row since the first leg as well. And they did make changes on Friday night. They got a Friday night game for a start, which helps. And they made a few changes and the kid scored. 16-year-old, what's his name? Yamal. 16-year-old, the left stuck another left footer into the top bins against Mallorca. Most of my handicap here, though, comes from Napoli. Under the new coach, they appointed this, is he Slovenian? Slovakian, I want to say. Might be Slovenian. Calzona on the 20th of Feb, Baz, is like an interim coach just to get him through at the end of the season. And he's got them playing really well. He's particularly got Essimen in Kvaratskhelia playing really well. They're unbeaten in 5, including a 6-1 win at Sassuolo. And they beat Juventus 2-1 as well. This is going to extra time, Baz. I think Napoli it could very well might be a 1-1 of the week, but I haven't gone with that. But I just think it's going to be a draw, 14-5 plus 280. This one will go to extra time. Callum asking for the team news from the Newcastle match. Baz, you've sorted that out. Well done. Kind of as expected, I think. No Trippier for Newcastle, but Tino will deputise admirably, I am sure. Let me tell you about Champs. It's a free Champs hosting a free March Madness bracket contest for a chance to win $1,000. Plus, if you host your own March Madness pool on Champs, you'll get an extra free entry into the bracket contest. Tiebreakers are determined by who enters first to make sure. So make sure to register now so you don't miss out. Head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/champs, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/champs. And finally, the Hall of Fame bets helping us win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season. The sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research NBA and soccer bets with historical stats and data. Put any parlay ideas into Hall of Fame bets revolutionary parlay optimizer. You'll get hit rates broken down by leg, expected probabilities for the entire parlay, sort players by hit rate, all that sort of stuff. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets. Wednesday, 2 games. First up is Atletico Madrid taking on Inter Milan. Atletico Madrid 19-10 plus 190. The draw is 23-10 plus 230. Inter are 13-9 plus 145. To qualify from the tie, Madrid 3-1 and Inter are 1-5. So Inter won. Did they? What was the score? 1-0.
1-0, yeah.
Yeah. They left it late actually because we took Inter in that first game. Left it late, but they were by far the better team actually. Atletico are 4th in La Liga, and it's completely built on the home form. Their competitiveness this season is totally built on what they've done at home. They've won 13 and drawn 1 of their 14 home games in the league. Contrast that with the fact they've only won 4 away. So you can see where the strength lies here. But Inter Milan have just been absolutely incredible, Barry. I think they're as good as Man City. They're up there as the 2 teams who contested the final last year. And I'd be very surprised if they're not doing the same again. They've won 24 of 28 in the league. They've won 10 games in a row, and they're scoring tons of goals. A little bit like Arsenal, they're throwing 4s and 5s in there. So for me, and it might be counterintuitive because that Atletico Madrid's home form is quite daunting. But if you're getting nearly 6-4 on a team this good who are playing this well, every time I watch them, they're so visually impressive as well, Baz. I think they can beat anybody. And Atletico at some point will have to come out and try and win the game as well. If this was a first leg, you could see Atletico trying to play for a 0 or something. Atletico going to need to go, and I think Inter can pick them off. Inter are outstanding. They're a really, really top-class football team. And a team that good at 13-9 plus 145 is too good for me to pass up, Baz. So I'll be taking Inter to win.
Yeah, I mean, I've got lots of the same notes here. You know, Inter Milan, I've got down arguably the most informed team in Europe at the moment and across this season. I wouldn't back against them getting to the final again here, back-to-back. 13-game winning streak. They haven't lost a game in 90 minutes since September. They lost to Sassuolo. That's the only defeat this season inside 90 minutes. against any team in any competition. Astonishing form. No surprise that their away form is also solid. So going to Atletico isn't a massive concern, despite the fact you've said Atletico are better at home. Inter haven't lost an away game all season. And Atletico's general form isn't pretty. They've just 2 wins in their last 9 in all competitions and 5 defeats in the last 9. Just 1 clean sheet in the last 10 games. And as you say, if you look at their home form in isolation, it is better. We talked about it before the first leg. We said the difference between their home and away form at the moment is huge for Atletico. They have won 5 of their last 6 at home and lost just 1 at home all season. But I'm like you, I can't get away from Inter here. I've really, really been impressed with Inter when I've watched them this season. I think they are one of the best sides in Europe at the moment. And I think, like you, I've got 6-4 down here. I think it's a great price. So I'm also going to take Inter to beat Atletico at 6-4.
Team ride on Inter, like it. Finally, probably the least glamorous tie on the card is Borussia Dortmund against PSV Eindhoven. Dortmund 21-20 plus 105. The draw 14-5 plus 280. And PSV 11-5 plus 220. Game finished 1-1 in the first leg. A pick that we had was a 1-1 of the week. To qualify, Dortmund are at 4-7 minus 175. PSV 5-4 plus 125. As Courtney joins us here. Courtney, how are you? Baz, finish us off with a winner.
Yeah, another delicately poised one. This one, 1-1 in the first leg. That was your 1-1 draw of the week. You took the draw. I took the unders. We both hit everything in the first leg. Be interested to see where you've gone, though. I think this is a really, really tough one to call. Dortmund have lost just 1 of the last 15 games now, but it's a lot of draws in there. 8 of the last 15 have finished in a draw, including the first leg of this one, as I just mentioned. No real trends in terms of goals for Dortmund. 4 unders, 4 overs in the last 8. If you look at the both teams to score, last 10 games, 5 hit both to score, 5 haven't hit both to score. So no real trends there. PSV, similar form, just 1 defeat in 20 in all competitions. The goals definitely lean towards the unders in their games, though. 7 of the last 10 have gone under 2.5. I did take the under 2.5 last time. But a lot of that comes against teams in Holland where PSV can keep teams quiet. Teams like Go Ahead Eagles and Zwolle and Heracles and Almere and stuff like that.
Is it not? You're not good with Is it not Heracles, Baz?
Heracles, whatever you want to call them. I don't know.
I don't know. I've always said Heracles. It just tickled me. You said Heracles.
Well, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I don't know either.
I knew I'd get one of the pronunciations wrong of those Dutch teams. Anyway, they're all shite. This is a bigger challenge. I think it's a tough one to call, ultimately. I had to fall one way or the other. I didn't want to go into the goals market here. Although I took unders last time, and there's plenty of form for that in PSV games. Second legs, I think, can be a bit more. If you get one of those teams gets an early goal, it opens things up straight away. So definitely not a fan of unders in any of these. Ultimately, I've gone with Dortmund here with the home crowd behind them, where they are unbeaten in the Champions League this season, despite having a tough group. They got a win over Newcastle. They kept PSG to a draw, AC Milan to a draw. And I think a touch over evens is an okay price for Dortmund. Probably not my favourite pick of the card. I think it was the hardest game possibly. But the pick for me is Dortmund to beat PSV at 21-20.
The hardest one, Baz. It's the easiest one. Can you tell me why it's just not going to finish 1-1 again? For all the reasons we knew it was going to finish 1-1 first time round. It's just going to finish 1-1 the second time round. 13-2 plus 650. Obviously, the slight difference here is PSV. The home advantage flips it a little bit because Dortmund are a better side. Sancho got his first goal since heading back there at the weekend. They beat... who did they beat? I can't remember. Anyway, Werder Bremen they beat at the weekend. They did lose the last home game, Baz, against Hoffenheim 3-2. But they're kind of bang average. Like they've won half their games in the league. 13-25. They won half the games at home, 7 of 12. And obviously PSV, a little bit like Porto we talked about. How much do you factor in the league thing? Because they're unbeaten, won 22, drawn 3. And you say you're not a big fan of Go Ahead Eagles or Heracles. But so you had to look at the Champions League form to try and get a better idea of how they're going. And Arsenal humped them 4-0, fair enough. but I don't think Dortmund's in that class. But they've got a 1-1 in Lons, and they won 3-2 in Sevilla. So they've been going okay. Then you can stick a 1-1 against Dortmund on that. And it's only one Champions League defeat in 7 games. They lost 1 in the group, and they drew last week. That's all right. I'm quite happy to not to factor them in. Yeah, it's another 1-1 draw. The 14-5 plus 280, and I haven't played the jingle for ages, Baz. But I'm going to play it now because this is 100% the 1-1 draw of the week.
It's Malcolm's 1-1 draw of the week. Both teams scored a goal.
There we go. I don't think you can hear any noise in the background, but that's Bob in the freezer. He'll be attacking the ice cream draw. The famous. Have we had much ice cream draw chat, Baz?
No.
Our ice cream draw is famous amongst Bob's mates because it's the best stocked ice cream draw in NE3. Like, whatever you want in there, Baz, you can go in there and have it now. You can have a Magnum, you can have a Mars bar ice cream, you can have a Twister. There'll be tubs, there'll be Ben and Jerry's. There's just plain vanilla stuff. You can have a fruit pastel lolly, which saved my life yesterday a couple of times. But his mates, it's the talk of the town, is our ice cream draw. But I've just heard Bob clashing and bagging around in there. I think we've made all the picks, Barry. I did not even consider picking any exotic stuff. Did you?
Not exotic as such, but I've got a little EFL bet for Malcolm.
That's good.
Quite a bit of League One and League Two action tomorrow. So keep an eye out on the shorts and stuff because Malcolm might pull his finger out and find something in there as well because we need to put some more shorter stuff out. People like it, so let's keep doing it. But I've got something here anyway. It's in the EFL. This is just a win treble. Leyton Orient, first of all. So in League One, we'll start with Leyton Orient to beat Port Vale. Port Vale now have not won in 12. The bottom of the form table, lost 5 of the last 6 and lost 8 of their last 10. Orient have lost 2 in a row, but a good chance for them to bounce back here. So we kick off the treble with Leyton Orient. Next up are Lincoln, who I think are a great price at 7-10 to beat Cambridge. They're at home to Cambridge. They're unbeaten in 11. They've won 4 of the last 5. And Cambridge have just 1 point from the last 5, right bottom of the form table in League One. That's the second one, Lincoln to beat Cambridge. And then we'll finish off the treble with the League Two selection, which is Bradford at home to Forest Green. Bradford are the form side in League Two at the moment, unbeaten in 6, won 4 of the last 5. Forest Green have improved a little bit since they got rid of Troy Deeney, who came in for a few games, and Duncan Ferguson, who spent a little bit of time there. But they don't score many, and they've lost the last 2 games away from home. So I think Bradford at home in good form will beat them. So my bonus EFL treble at 7-2 is Leyton Orient, Lincoln, and Bradford all to win. 7-2 treble.
Courtney's complaining about the YouTube short that I did in the bath the other night. The only problem with that was it lost. It was Patrick complaining. I knew Courtney would be all over that. We just said we're going to throw out some Cheltenham picks, Baz. We've done quite a bad job of it. But I've
got that down here. I've got down your hangover not only cost us this show last night, but we were going to do a Cheltenham show yesterday.
Well, I'm about to redeem myself, though, Baz, because I've been in touch with the Lord. Now, you know the Lord. The Lord is the Cheltenham oracle. I've been to several Cheltenhams down the years with the Lord, and he sent me a list. I mean, it's off the page, Baz. It's that long. Look, it's up and down. It's up and down. That's how long it is, this list of horses. But I'm going to just pick out a couple, at least for tomorrow, and then we put out a graphic with the rest, Baz. So the one for tomorrow, we've got a favourite in the Arkle, which is Gaelic Warrior, which is around about 11-4. But the big outsider in the Turners is a horse called Zanahia, 25-1. What else we got? We've got Pinkerton in the Grand Annual Chase, 20-1. That's Noel Mead's horse. The Coral Cup, which is the big hurdle, I think, on Thursday afternoon. First Street at 20-1. Corbett's Cross in the National Hunt Chase, but that's not a great price. Each way in the bumper, Mr. Megget and Quibicos, something like that. And King of Kingsfold. Apparently, there's a C word in this. It seems an ideal type for the county hurdle, but the cunts have overanalyzed him now and his price has been destroyed. So that's King of Kingsfold. So that's that's what the Lord's given us. So we'll try and throw out a graphic, Baz. That can be your job. Give you something to do the next couple of days.
I'll take some stuff out tonight for Tuesday. If you keep an eye out on Twitter, we'll put our Cheltenham picks out. For what it's worth, we will put our Cheltenham picks on Twitter tomorrow in the AM sometime.
Don't follow mine or Barry's. Follow the Lord's when we get them. Right, I think we're done, Baz. Do you have anything else you want to tell the people?
I've invested in a new kitchen gadget. Can you guess what it is?
God. Give us a clue.
It probably won't be long before I've drawn blood.
Oh, is it like a mandolin?
It is a mandolin. Good work. Yes.
What a great guess.
Have you got a mandolin?
Does it that bit on the bottom of my cheese grater count?
No, that doesn't count.
No, I have.
Because we've all got that. Yeah, I've got a mandolin. I really like it. It's good. Different.
Any good?
Oh, really? Oh, consistent. Slicing onions, really consistently. Carrots. That's about it. It's all I've done so far.
I do enjoy a consistently sliced onion, Baz. Like,
yeah, well, I've got different widths as well. So, like really thin onions is okay. I've had some onions tonight with a steak. I had a bit fillet steak tonight. That was lovely. So I did slice my onions in there, and it's absolutely. Yeah, I had Ian Sano was saying you can get holders to hold your vegetables whilst you.
okay.
My thing did come with a holder, so it's got spikes on it. So you push your onion into this spike, and then like that, so it doesn't cut you. I did also get the glove, but I put the glove back in the box and then put the box in the recycle bin, and now it's gone off for the bin.
Then. Is it gone?
What
was the glove made out of?
But then I don't know. To be honest, I can't see a point where I think this is dangerous. I'm going to put a glove on because I prefer the Jeopardy. So I'm not sure I would have used the glove anyway, but it did end up in the bin. But yeah, I'm happily slicing away. I've got a nice bit of white cabbage here I might do for tomorrow. The cabbage, right? I don't ask us why it's sat next to me on the table here, but yeah, bit of white cabbage. We'll slice that lovely, make a nice slaw.
Well, I didn't expect that, Barry, but I enjoyed it a lot. Good, well done. Finished on some vegetable chat. Right, well, thanks everyone for joining us and finding us. Like I say, you can have that one on me in my drinking habits. Good luck, Newcastle, tonight. Good luck with your picks over the next couple of nights. I'm off to the freezer to see if I can find a funny foot. And we will see you down the road. Cheers.